Hmm. हेलो मुइज, कैसे हो यार? We have about how much time do we have till the FOMC? We have 10 minutes till the FOMC. अच्छा भाई मुइज, आज तुम ये बताओ कि परफेक्ट डे था कि नहीं था? हम लोगों ने यहाँ से देख रहे हो, ये वाला पॉइंट था। और मैं कौन सी जगह को टारगेट कर रहा था? हमारी कौन सी लॉन्ग टर्म बाइंग पोजीशन थी? ये वाली 92,766। मैंने क्या कहा था कि यार जब यहाँ पे आएगा तो यहाँ पे अगर स्ट्रेंथ शो करेगा तो बाय। और उसके बाद फिर ये देखो, ठीक है। दूसरा क्राइटेरिया हमारा, जो नैस्डैक का क्राइटेरिया था, ठीक है। इधर मैंने स्ट्रीम इधर मैंने स्ट्रीम बंद की, ठीक है। उसके अलावा हम लोग क्या टारगेट कर रहे थे? कौन सा पोजीशन टारगेट कर रहे थे? 21,027। This was the point we were targeting in the previous stream, right? This was the point area of interest where I was supposed to sell it, right? See this point. Both of the narratives I provided were perfectly, literally perfect. Okay, so both narratives. This was the point where I was supposed to short, right? This was the overall target. This was the buying zone, the target and the buying zone. So really, really nice. Within the next 8 minutes, see, we are still reacting out of this exact point, these 2 points. This was the target, right? 21,027 was the target. How many trades in a day can it give? Like a million trades, bro. Like one time, two time, threes, four, five, six. This is the seventh one. Hmm. We still have about 6 minutes till the FOMC, and I'm expecting this price to move above again, revisit these points again. Volatility is gyrating around 18.35 to 17.39. It's going to increase within the next 6 minutes. Okay. On the cues, let's see what happened on the cues. You see this point. This was the narrative for the QQQs. Okay. Okay. What was this for? You remember this point? 510. Everything I said was perfectly, literally perfect. 5 minutes left. Three minutes. A minute left. Price will revisit this point for 21,191. Still no longs, but overall this is inefficient. Hello, Eric. Brother, you remember this point? What was the target? 92,766. What were we supposed to do at the target? Buy this, right? Okay. So this was the overall shorting area when I left the stream. And on the NASDAQ, this is where I left the stream. This was the area from selling point. Okay. What was the target? Eric, 21,027 was the target. That was the area which I was saying, KR, price will revisit this point and the upper portion. You remember this upper portion which I mentioned, P1, is going to be revisited these two areas today. So think accordingly, trade or you strategize according to it. So this was the area we got rejected again from this point. So now after the FOMC, we have still have 25 minutes left till the FOMC is complete, right? Uh, till 2:30. Okay. This candle is inefficient. 21,191 is inefficient. So it is an indication that the price will revisit this area at some point. Okay. Now this is also inefficient. So these two are indication of a long ranges. Hmm. Okay. Still, okay, one more thing. If this properly works out, right, and if this becomes an uptrend, this will be the bottom. This will be the potential long-term bottom. How? If we move above this area and use this as support, this you'll see this will become the bottom. If there is a big if, okay, there's a big if with that case scenario. By bottom, I mean a higher time frame bottom. Like we're gonna target the major highs. This is a 5 minutes imbalance. Okay. This is 15 minutes imbalance. This is going to revisit this point. This point. Yeah, that is tagged. Okay. One thing which the price is struggling to move up is probably it's highly likely that this time the market will go through it. There is a high probability. But for that, it needs to show strength here. If it shows some sort of weakness around this point, it can just get rejected again. Okay. So how many points was this from the previous stream, right? 21,000 towards the downside, then overall 2,000 first, then 1,800 next. Okay. So I need some sort of a strength, no weakness around this box, which we were getting rejected from the start of the stream till now. Still keep this in mind. This 2-5 candle is imbalanced. No weakness around this point. 21,000. If it fails at this point, then it can get rejected again. If we move above this point, then there is a high probability that we are going to touch this point, 338. But for first, it needs to move above these two areas. Without it, no chance. Koenig is again getting rejected, and so is NASDAQ. Rejection, no. Forty-six, 677. 46, 677. Okay. NASDAQ getting rejected from the box again, from till the 469. 4, 6, let's say 70. Being rejected again. 21,167, 100, 167. Watch how this is imbalanced. It's always an indication that it's going to come back. Okay. Overall, try not to go long as the trend is settled. If the trends get settled towards the upside, I'll tell you a potential long swing trade. So there are no short-term longs. Okay, there will be a long-term long if the price moves above this point, 374. But then that will be relevant, and I'll tell you what all about it, but not right now. So as long as we are below this box, I'm not allowed to go long in the short term, even on the scalps. I'm holding a long from this point, and I'll hope that we move above this point, use that as support and move further up. That would be really good. So this was the overall point. We were targeting this point in the New York session, right? This was the point where I was supposed to buy this. I told everyone. And then if you remember this point on QQQs, this was the point I draw here. No longs below this box. This was the exact target. Okay. 510.67. If you remember, if you go and watch the previous stream. So as long as we are in these two boxes, I'm not allowed to go long. Okay. Overall, just don't try not to go long. Okay. But if it shows strength around this area, then it can move ahead. It will be a no man's land. From this area to this area, it will be a no man's land. Can go. Once the trend is settled, then I'll go long. Okay. We have 10 minutes till the FOMC is complete. NASDAQ is struggling and Bitcoin is struggling. For Bitcoin to show strength, it should move above this point and use this as support and move further up and not get rejected. Okay. That is the price which is holding Bitcoin towards the downside. Okay. First, it needs to move above this point. You use this as support and then move further up. Same goes with the NASDAQ. It should not get rejected at this point. If it continues to get rejected at this point, then the narrative is still valid towards the downside. NASDAQ is getting strong. Keep this in mind. This is a 15 minutes time frame. This candle is imbalanced, completely imbalanced. So 'NASDAQ is strong. So is Bitcoin. As for now, it's not showing any signs of weakness as for now. Seven minutes left. Five minutes left. NASDAQ is still not showing signs of weakness. The trend is still intact. This is the point where the Bitcoin is supposed to come down. Okay. So if I want to make a case for the bulls, this would be the case. Okay. Bitcoin should, okay, I'm not a bull as of now, move above this point and not get into this box, use this as support and move further up. So then I can make a case for the bulls. As of now, the same goes with the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is overall strong. Okay. This trend on a 1 minute should continue and move further up, not get rejected as it is being rejected right now. Because if it gets rejected, it's going to act like this. Nice. NASDAQ is also strong. 'Should stay above this 236. 2 minutes till 230. 230. Okay. This candle is imbalanced. This is imbalanced, and the 15 one is imbalanced. 215. 36 rejected the price, but the price will come to this point again after some period of time. Okay, we're going to tag this point, then 15. This one is the 15 one, then this one. The 15 one, 215. Same goes with the Bitcoin. See, if we stay within this specific range and move above this point, then I can make a case for the bulls. Otherwise, as long as we stay below this point, I'm not interested in longs, as you already know. Still keep this in mind. If you're taking a trade, take a short-term trade because the price will revisit 234 after some period of time, probably today, and also this point. Hmm. See this exact same narrative, how many times it played out today. Okay. This is where we took a short right. This was the other point. This was the target. This was again the buying zone. Now again, the same narrative is being played. Okay. So this was the main reason I said, care, no buying. Like, do not buy this. Okay. I'm only making a case for the bulls if we may move above 260 on the US 100. Then I'm only allowed to think about buying this. Otherwise, no. Bears are in charge. On the NASDAQ, you see how many trades we have gotten. This was the first time, second time, third time, fourth time. Fourth time we got hit to the target. This was 21,000 was the target. Came back to this point, got rejected again. Now we are getting rejected again and again and again. So this is what I meant, KL, you'll get frustrated. Just don't even think about buying this. Now that FOMC has passed, like, so I can make a case for the bulls, because you see this symmetry on the 15 minutes time frame. If I remove the drawings, you'll see it clearly. You see this whole symmetry and this imbalance candle. We have an imbalance at 231. The next imbalance is at 215 candle, which I was targeting now, like right now. Nice rejection. You're gonna target 215, then probably come back up to this point. But that does not mean that you have to buy this. No, no buyings at all. I'm not interested in buying this. I'm only interested in selling this with a good risk to reward ratio. You were right about the direction on NQ and BTC. Even without knowing the direction, execution was nearly impossible. Do you have any entry tip? Brother, you're telling me that execution was impossible. How? This was the criteria, right? This was the criteria. But I said here, I'm only interested in taking a 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 risk to reward ratios. So if I'm buying in the middle of this, if it's showing strength, I'm not interested in buying this, first of all. Second thing would be if it's showing some sort of weakness. This is the my stop loss placement points. For example, if we were once we were moving to this point, you see this strength, this is strength, this is strength. Now this is weakness, right? When it starts to get weak, I'll jump in, putting my stop loss right above this point. Then I'll aim for 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, depending on the place from where I have sold it. For example, if I have traded, this is a smaller time frame narrative. If I were to trade this higher time frame narrative, for example, if I were to short at this point, I should hold it for long targets, right? And if I have buy it from this point, I am assuming that I'll hold for 3 or 4 days. You get it? For example, if I were to sell this point, I will put my stop loss right above this point. These are the boxes which tells everything. First of all, it will tell you what is the direction and what not to do. For example, the box I have drawn is red, like no longs overall. Once it starts to move up to this point, for example, it's moving up, up, up. I'm watching, I'm watching, I'm watching. The closer it is to the upper extreme, the lower my risk is. You understand? The closer it is to the extreme point, the lower my risk would be. Okay. Once it starts to show me some sort of weakness, I'll enter a weakness on a 1 minute time frame. 1 minute weakness would be you need an entry model. I'll give you a single entry model, which is going to, you cannot make a case against that entry model. Even on a 1 minute candle, if it closes below the previous low, previous week, that is that is the minimum you can ask for. Okay, there is no better model than this, but it all depends on the context. Basically, if I'm expecting at a certain area of interest that the price will gyrate around this point, or it will be an extreme point from the price will make a top, so at that area I'm looking at the 1 minute. You understand? I'm not looking at 1 minute at every place, not in the middle of the range. For example, this was the area, right? This was the weakness. I shorted it at this point, aiming for 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 raised to reward ratio. Okay. So this was the buying zone overall. putting my stop loss right below this point. I hope that answers your question. You've tagged 215. Eric, you're not supposed to buy or sell without weakness because I'm not asking very much from the market. I'm just asking a single down close. I'm not asking for example, if I know at a certain place that the market will come down from that point, right? So I'm looking for any reason. Okay. So a reason is required. If I'm blindly shorting this at the area of interest, that would be really harmful. Okay, I'm gonna take a lot of losses. I'm looking for the smallest reason because there's those areas of interest which I draw are usually as an extreme. So I'm looking at this area and I'm looking for a reason. So the minimum I can ask for is, for example, at this point, this was the minimum I could have asked for, right? We below, closed below, closed below. This was the criteria, right? Closed below. You see this point? We closed below. This was the areas of interest. Closed below, stop loss right here. गणेश, कैसे हो गणेश? तुम आते हो और चले जाते हो। एक मैसेज टाइप करता है और ये चला जाता है फिर। I was expecting the FOMC to be volatile. I think everyone was expecting it to be volatile, so that's why no volatility. That settles nothing. I mean, really, that settles nothing. We still are in a short-term downtrend. It can extend itself into a long-term downtrend. Yeah, but it's leaving some inefficiencies towards the upside. So, not convinced yet. 127 is still imbalanced. This one is imbalanced and the market is trying to move further up. So it's going to range for some time, probably for till the next week. Otherwise, still no longs. No longs. Be very, very careful taking a long. This is not bad. Volatility is settling down. We stay below 17.93. There's a high probability that we are going to trend up. The best case scenario would be for the VIX to come below 16.40. Really nice for the bulls. 50 is imbalanced, and then 230 is also imbalanced. So it's what is it? indicating it's going to gyrate around these two areas. About the boxes and lines, you mentioned that you use fib extensions. Can you show an example? No, 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 no. This is not fib extension. Fib extension, I mean, I told you about the fib extension. Fib extension is a standard deviation. It's a different standard deviation model from the others I talk about. These boxes are not anything related to fib or Fibonacci is different. For example, Fibonacci, I use this fib extension for 100% deviations. For example, as I'm using 1 and 0, I'm not worried about anything other than 50%. This just a general measurement. Okay. So this will be a standard of this deviation of 100% like this point. I don't use fib like this. It's my fibs are basically 15. This is not set correctly. I have everything turned off. Everything turned off. If I am using a Fibonacci standard deviation, that would be 0.51, and then that will be 2, then 3, then 4. I'm using fibs for that, nothing else. For example, if I were to measure a target, I'll measure it through this standard deviation. 100%. Nothing to do with fib numbers. Just using 50%, 1, and then 2, and then 3 or 4. The boxes is a complete system. It's a complete different trading system, or you can say a machine which I've built. So it's not. Bitcoin works again and again and again and again through this area. So these things which I these things which I make is my own, is completely my own personal research, and basically a quantitative strategy, as you understand, right? You can understand it through, it's a quantitative strategy. So I'm using multiple different things. I've been doing this for a very long time, so I can jump from one strategy to another strategy, different models of trading according to the ATR. So nothing really happened, right? I was expecting much more from this FOMC. Tomorrow we have a holiday, bank holiday, and then on Friday we have some CPI or something. Ah, FOMC, then on Friday, yeah, non-farm payroll, NFP. See how many times we got rejected out of this. It's really, really good. Mm. Last power hour is about to open in 5 seconds. So probably we'll get a move in the power hour, or if not, then on Friday. We are generating liquidity, but still not allowed to buy this at all. We are gonna get rejected from these two boxes again and again and again and again. So don't get frustrated if you're fighting these two areas of interest. See the Bitcoin volatility index. We talked about this on Sunday. I said, yeah, once we move above 1.21, then we can expect a large volatility increase in BTC. So we have gotten this point. So this is the reason we are getting really, really good trades from this point. Okay. Yes, Moses. Obviously, I've been explaining you this for like since the New York session. The whole criteria for the longs is if we move above this point and not get rejected through these areas of interest. तो जब तक हम लोग इसके ऊपर नीचे रह रहे रहेंगे तो तुम उसको बाय कर ही नहीं सकते हो. Okay. If you are not trading and you are bullish, then you shouldn't be trading. You should be only looking for the price to once it moves above this point. Still, it will always be in danger until we move above this point. So buy it, no buys. You cannot be able to buy it at any point. If you are interested in buying this, you can take a swing trade, swing long above 374 if the price comes to that point. And same narrative goes with the Bitcoin. Okay. So these are like ladders. जो सीढ़ियां होती है ना आपकी वैसे समझ लो कि once as long as we stay below this point, Bitcoin will be bearish and it's gonna get rejected out of this point again and again and again. So Bitcoin has already moved enough, right? So it's just taking its breath, but still we got around 2000 points towards downside, 1800 points then above. So huge moves on the ATR needs to. The ATR is like this. It needs to just calm down, then it's gonna increase again. But still, no buys. Because we are below this point, still targeting again. This will be the as a consequence of we being bearish. This will be the target again. So previous वाला target हमारा यहाँ से short था, ये वाला buy zone था again target के साथ. This is the price getting rejected again from this area of interest. दोबारा से still we are gonna target that point. NASDAQ तो बिल्कुल सूख गया है यार, हिल ही नहीं रहा. It's not even moving. I was expecting a big move from NASDAQ, but this inefficiency around this point, inefficiency around this point. Bitcoin is good reacting to the overall narrative. NASDAQ is too, but ये काफी choppy है यार. gain 700 points. Like आज तो Bitcoin is perfect, completely perfect. Like check this out. The risk to reward on this was really nice, right? On the New York stream, like this was the risk, like around 200 points was the risk. It was the reward overall, 2400. Then this was the buying zone. Like again, we came back to the area of interest, got rejected again. So a lot of 1 to 1, 1 to 2 risk to reward ratios. तो ये अपने जहन में रखना कि यार इसको जो है ना, Nasdaq को do not buy Nasdaq, nor should you buy Bitcoin. As long as we are generally speaking overall in the higher time frame below this level, it would be 96,220. So no buying on Bitcoin overall in general. Three 15. I'll be only interested in buying Nasdaq once we move above 21,340. Until then, we have a lot of problems. Okay, we have taken out the 2-5 inefficiency. Now, Nasdaq will try to fight this whole area of interest. Okay, come back to this point. That would be 233, 233. If it does not get rejected at this point, then I can make a case for the bulls. Otherwise, all short. These two areas, which is not a huge range, like this first 45 point range was used the whole session, the whole New York session. At this point, we got rejected again and again and again. Okay, this was the selling point, this was the target in the New York session. We are trying to challenge this point again. If we move above this area, then I can make a case for the bulls. Same goes with the Bitcoin. 96,220. If we move above 96,220, then I'll be more interested in potential longs or swing longs. So Nasdaq is completely dead. Bitcoin is good. If the price comes to this point again and shows me weakness, I'll take another shot. It's like this. This was the first point we got a weakness, shorted it 1 to 1 risk to reward ratio. So this was the point I said here. It should stay below this level. If you look at it closely in the New York Street, move above this point. I said it should not move above this point or not even give me a closing even on a 1 minute time frame on BTC. This blue box. We never got a closing above. This was the validation criteria for the short. Stop loss above, aiming for 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. But overall, this was my target. So I never held to this point because I was not expecting the Bitcoin to move here before FOMC. That was the whole criteria. So this was overall buying zone for the swing trade. It's 320. Guys, if you're new to the channel, kindly like the stream. And I live stream every day New York session, first 3 4 hours. So give a thumbs up. That will help with the algorithm. Ah, okay, guys, I don't think there's anything left. We have a bank holiday tomorrow, and on Friday, we can expect some sort of volatility. But FOMC was such a nothing but okay, boys. Take care. I'm gonna go.